Hi, welcome to Ocean Yumi Mirror. So I'm gonna do a quick one, quick live, right? I won't go in too much because I'm just seeing how this thing work on here, okay? Let me see if I can change up a little bit. Do it this way, okay. So basically there is this group, this organization called Spac Nation, and recently they did a very strange thing. And it looks similar to what will be done in, I would say, a gang grooming situation. Um, to me, it says a lot about Pastor Toby. It also proves that people was right about him, which I thought anyway, because I've covered him numbers of times. But um, when I'm looking at this, I see what is used to get the younger children. My thing is, right, with the money that he did this, what he did with the chicken shop, he could have basically gone and fed homeless. He could have done after school program. He could have done numbers of things. And I really disagree with what they did, to be honest. I know bouncers talked on it and others have spoken on it, but I just feel that how you shouldn't. I just feel that um you shouldn't you shouldn't do you shouldn't do things that imply kind of gang related thing, and I feel that's what I see here. But I'm gonna play one video. Let's see if the video.
It's just RB here. I'm here with Petrely and OPM. We're currently in Peckham in real time, giving out free wallies to the community.
Squaddy ain't been here. I gave him a P40. Ain't got time. My hands I got yachts. I know Mindy. My bros in a slide with a bat. I flick.
What you currently witness there is called grooming, child exploitation. If you are parents with kids around that area, you need to go do your due diligence and have those massive, big time conversations with your kids. Explain to them what to look out for and how they should move when it comes to organizations like this. Because these organizations, let's be honest, they function on the same basis as gangs. Yes. If you think about how gangs can get young people into their circle, it's by offering them free things, bringing them into the circle, giving them a quote unquote community, places to belong, and then start utilizing them for their own benefit. That's what this is. Stagnation is no different from a cult. Doesn't matter what you think about it, just because they have not been branded as one officially. And we know why. Man, we know why the authorities ain't gonna do nothing about it. Because it's not affecting the masses. It's not affecting the white population. No, this is mostly targeted towards the destruction of black people. So it's fine. It's fine. But you need to pay attention. These kids are being indoctrinated. These kids are being exploited. And they're using one of the worst stereotypes as well. Free chicken and chips. It's mad. It's madness. But you gotta watch out for this. This is not new.
Yeah, and what he's saying is really true because over the years or whenever there's been this thing that's been happening about children getting groomed into gangs and stuff. And to me, when you see it in real time like that, you just it just confirms a lot. What they didn't do initially was, hi, what they didn't do initially, Anna, what they didn't do initially was, I feel, right, they could have done something for the children, could have done after school club, they could have done all sorts of things. This, not only that, right, as you see, there is it's an area that is, ethnic minorities as well as that. And not only that, right, they thought that they did something great by doing this. They said they fed 400 people. Ringo Vision, who's on here every single week, every single day, 300 and how much days in a year. He'll be feeding people. Not only that, right, he's clothing them, he's getting them rehab, he's doing stuff for single mothers, he's doing stuff for people. And Spac Nation to me doesn't come under that. Spac Nation's always had a name as being a cult, and all that stuff. And on top of that, I feel what really gets the biscuit for me is when they're saying they're feeding people or feeding people who haven't got a lot. Right, what they are doing is using the vulnerables and all that stuff, and it's not community based. Because it was community based, right? You have to get a lot of things passed through by the council, this one and the other. You cannot just set up and then they're saying, yeah, you're going to feed some people, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. Everything has to be certified. Then you have to have a charity number. Then you have to do certain stuff, because I've done a little bit of it before. So and I feel that how this was a recruiting mechanism, recruiting to their church. However, I mean, people can say I'm wrong, but that's what it looks like from my angle. Anyway, there's a young lady who really calls it for what it is, so I'm going to play her what she says. Let me
Spac
see if
Nation
I
is a
can get it.
church. It operates like a church. It's called a church. It holds services, worship sessions, prayer sessions. By trying to strip Spac Nation of its title as a church, you're ridding the church institution of its accountability. The church needs to be held accountable for what is happening and what people are doing in its name. What people are doing in the name of church, what people are doing in the name of God. Spac Nation is not the first and it will not be the last. By saying, oh, Spac is not a church, what you're doing is you're saying, oh, that has nothing to do with me. Leave that over there. That's not my business. Leave that over there. That's for someone else to deal with. Spac Nation is a church. What are you going to do about it? Oh, you churchgoer, what are you going to do about the fact that this is what church is? This is what your churches are doing. Religious institutions are flawed because it allows people to get away with anything in the name of church, in the name of God. So by specifically stripping Spac Nation of its title as a church, you are also automatically stripping yourself of accountability and stripping the church as an institution of accountability, because this is what people are doing in the name of the church. This is a registered church. This is a registered church, and the point is that this is not the first and this is not the last of its kind. This is happening all the time, everywhere. Children are being indoctrinated, children are being groomed. And this is exactly what a lot of churches are doing. Spac is just doing it on steroids. Spac is just unfortunate enough to be in the limelight. And that's the reason why it's so easy for you to say, oh yeah, no, Spac is not a church. But so many churches are doing this exact same covert operation. Because you know that if Spac is a church, any inquiry into the operations of Spac leads directly to an inquiry into the operations of the next church and the next church and your church. You don't know how to sit with that. That's the issue.
I'll do it right. Anyways, yeah. So what was I saying? Yeah. So to me, Spac Nation could have done it a bit more different. They could have done a community drive. They could have done anything. There are ways, right? They could have done it in a hall. They could have done it, you know what I mean, in so many ways. I'm not just saying that how right. It's just like because gang hits all communities really. But it's just the way they did it. It just didn't sit well with me. And I just had an issue with it basically on a whole, because Spac Nation was also on the BBC. They found out loads of stuff about that. Because them, Spac Nation and VYG was one of the biggest mega churches that was grooming children. Things was happening in the church. They was taking a thing called the seed from the children, setting them up in places, in houses, etc. And the children had to give a large amount of money to youngsters, basically youngsters in general. They had to give loads of money to the seed, to the house mother and stuff like that. So basically what they are doing, what is being done there, as I showed, was just example of how the levels of how they will groom people. I mean, I've spoken about TD McNutt, And that alone just shows how easy, like, a youngster can get groomed and abused in a house, or abused by what is supposed to be a pastor. So, like, to me, not only that, right, there was only like one policeman there. They're perfect strangers to these children. There's a whole lot issue in that small little clip what I'll put up, right? So I was like, no, this is just something that probably hurts a lot of people, because like a young boy got stabbed or unalived, and he was in the care system, and he was groomed as well into gangs and certain stuff, or he got recruited into gangs and certain stuff. Because mind you, some children don't even know that's what's happening to them until later on when they're caught up in the thing. So, like, so what this is showing, how easy children can be groomed. And I don't know whether the government's going to do anything about Spac Nation. They've been trying to get rid of Pastor Toby, for the past how much years. And Pastor Toby has been doing whatever he's been doing, walking around. Yes, I'm not saying that people should not look well off or buy nice things, but at the risk of every other person, or the risk of a youngster, or you know what I mean. So basically, like, that's why I've just done this small live. I'm not even going to stay on here for long, because I don't know how long this device is going to hold out for. But I'm just saying that, how, like, is this for what was this grooming or community work? Because I think I know the answer already. It shows a lot to me and others, and I don't know how it's going to show to other people out there. But this is one of the things that happens when, like, churches or mega churches are involved, and that's also what Leah Lauder has been trying to break down for the past how long. We've also talked about VYG Love. There's a church called Love Something, and this is the tactics. So I am going to post up one of the videos that I did get to download, whatever. And the guy who works with youth, he's going to explain why this is an issue. Okay, because this affects everybody, because, like, everybody has children in schools, whatever. And when things like this happens, right, it does affect most people, as I would think. And it's the fact that how, right, it was just pure school children from the school around the area was there, right? And don't forget how there's rivalry with schools, all sorts of things. Anything could have happened at that spot, right? And then later on, when the chicken shops sell out, then they close down the shop. But the thing is that it was how it was done, how the children was enticed into it. You know what I mean? And that is one of the tactics that what gangs use as a recruitment tool, right? So that's what I'm saying. Is Spac Nation for the community, or is it grooming or community? That's what's the title, okay? So please, if you are in the UK and you know what I'm talking about, please put in the comment what you think, and we will have the conversation. I know it's short and sweet, but devices and all that. I've got issues with devices, and this is how I got on it. So with that said, I will see you. Take care. Bye.